Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through information and really try to unearth those golden nuggets of insight just for you. Today, we're plunging into a document that's, well, essentially a foundational blueprint for developing AI responsibly. It's a general-purpose AI code of practice from the EU. And this isn't just some dry regulatory checklist, It's a guide meant to shape how these really powerful AI models are built and used, hopefully ensuring they benefit us all.
You've absolutely hit on it. I mean, as AI capabilities accelerate, almost transforming into this new pervasive force in society, the critical question becomes, how do we ensure it's built responsibly, trustworthily, safely?
Yeah.
This code of practice aims to lay down those key principles. Our mission today is really to unpack what this means for the companies creating these cutting-edge AIs, and maybe more importantly for you, the person interacting with them daily. We'll start with the big picture, then zoom in on three really critical pillars: transparency, copyright, and safety and security.
Okay, let's start with the broad strokes then. What's the core intention behind this general-purpose AI code of practice? What problem is it really trying to solve here?
Well, the main intention is really threefold, and it's quite ambitious, actually. First, it's about promoting what they call human-centric and trustworthy AI. So AI designed to genuinely help people, enhance our capabilities, not, diminish them. Second, it's about protecting fundamental rights, our health, our safety from any potential harmful effects. That's key. And critically, it also aims to foster innovation in safe AI tech, making sure regulation doesn't just stifle progress. It's a tricky balance they're aiming for.
Yeah, that balance between innovation and protection, that sounds crucial.
Yeah.
So how does this code actually do that? What are its practical jobs?
Practically speaking, it serves as a robust guide for companies, almost like a detailed how-to manual showing how they can demonstrate compliance with the bigger legally binding AI Act. So if the AI Act is the law, this code is kind of the best practices playbook. And it also, importantly, empowers the AI office. Think of them as the AI regulators, maybe the AI police, if you like that analogy.
Right.
It gives them clear benchmarks to check if companies are genuinely doing what they say about safety and fairness.
Okay, that makes sense. It's the detailed operating instructions for the main law. But, you said it's a guide, not strictly law itself. So what's the real incentive for companies to follow it? Are there actual consequences if they, don't?
That's a really sharp question. While the code itself isn't legally binding like the AI Act, it provides the framework for showing you comply with that act. Following the code is basically how companies demonstrate good faith, show they're making robust efforts. So the incentive is really about getting ahead of problems, avoiding that scrutiny from the AI office, and, building public trust. That's invaluable. Okay, with that big picture set, let's peel back the layers. Let's start with transparency. How does the code actually demand openness from these AI models?
Yeah, transparency. It often feels like a black box with AI, especially these big general purpose ones. But this code really pushes for openness, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of getting a really detailed spec sheet for some complex new machine. What does this AI manual look like?
Right, and what's truly foundational here is this concept of model documentation. This is the core requirement. AI companies don't just get encouraged. They must create and maintain a comprehensive, single, official instruction manual for their AI model. They have to assign specific people to keep it updated, and it needs updates whenever important changes happen. And get this, they have to keep old versions for 10 years. That's a serious commitment to accountability.
10 years, wow. A decade-long archive of instruction manuals. So what kind of information is actually inside this AI manual? What are we talking about?
Oh, it's incredibly detailed. The model documentation covers a lot. Think of it in categories. First, general information, basic stuff like the model's name, maybe Llama 3.145B, its release date. And importantly, if it was built on another model, it needs to list those predecessors. Then model properties, the architecture, what it takes in and puts out text, images, audio, video, and its size, usually in parameters.
Parameters, those are like the AI's internal dials, right? The things it adjusts to learn.
Exactly. Billions of them sometimes. It shows the complexity. Then how to use it, an acceptable use policy saying what it is for productivity enhancement and what it's not for. Plus compatible hardware, software.
Right, the do's and don'ts.
Precisely. Also how it learned, training process, the main steps in its training, and crucially, information about the data it used. What types of data, where it came from internet, private sets, user data, how much data, measured in tokens or images maybe, and details on cleaning, processing, looking for bias. Finally, energy and computing power used, quantified in megawatt hours, how they measured it. It shows the sheer resources involved.
That is an incredible amount of detail. So who actually gets to see this manual? Is it just for the regulators, the AI office?
Yeah.
Or does it reach further?
That's a really important point about who benefits. The main audience, the primary one, is what the code calls downstream providers. These are other companies that take these big AI models and build stuff on top of them, like integrating them into their own apps or services.
Oh, okay. Like developers using an OS.
Exactly. They need this info to use the model correctly and meet their own AI Act obligations. The AI office and national authorities can also request parts, especially if they're checking high-risk AI systems. But interestingly, companies are also encouraged to make some of this public, which could really help with broader understanding, you know?
But what about, well, trade secrets? The tech world is super competitive.
Yeah.
Surely they can't put everything out there.
You're absolutely right to flag that. The code explicitly recognizes this. It states that confidential business info, trade secrets, must be protected when sharing this documentation. It's about finding that balance, right? Enough transparency for safety and oversight, but still letting companies protect their secret sauce, their competitive edge. That balance is key for innovation.
Okay, transparency covered. Let's shift gears now to another really fundamental part, respecting creators, the copyright chapter. This sounds vital, especially with AI learning from just massive amounts of data. Is this section kind of like the chapter on ethically sourcing the AI's ingredients?
That's a great analogy, actually. Yeah, if transparency is about how the AI works, copyright is very much about what the AI learns from and how it respects creative works, books, music, art, videos, you name it. It's all about making sure AI companies, well, play fair with creators' rights, right from the start.
So how do they ensure this fair play? What's the main requirement here?
Okay, the core thing is that companies must have a fair play copyright policy. This isn't optional. It has to be an official written plan explaining exactly how they'll follow all the relevant EU copyright rules. It needs to be kept updated, specific people assigned to enforce it. And again, they're encouraged to publicly share a summary to build trust with creators.
Okay, a formal policy. But what about the actual learning process? The web crawling, the text and data mining on just vast internet data sets. How does copyright apply there? That seems incredibly complex.
It is complex, technically and legally. But the code is pretty clear on the principles. It says AI models can only use content that's legally accessible. So no bypassing paywalls, no ignoring technical blocks like digital rights management. And importantly, they must respect those digital no-entry signs the robots.txt files websites use to tell crawlers, don't look here.
Right, the robots.txt.
Yeah. And they also need systems to find and respect other rights-reserved messages, maybe hidden in the file's metadata. It's a huge technical challenge policing that, but the expectation is set.
That covers the input side. What about the output? How does the code try and stop an AI from just spitting out something that infringes on copyright, maybe by, accidentally copying its training data too closely?
Yeah, this is where it really matters for creators. The aim is to prevent AI models from generating outputs that unfairly copy or infringe. So companies need to implement technical safeguards. Think of them as digital fences or filters. They're designed to stop the AI producing stuff that's just too similar to specific copyrighted training data. And they also have to put rules in their acceptable use policy, explicitly telling users not to use the AI to create infringing copies. And this applies whether the company uses the model itself or gives it to someone else.
Okay, safeguards and rules. But what if a creator thinks, hey, my work was used wrongly, or this AI output looks way too much like my stuff?
Yeah.
What can they actually do? Is there a clear way to complain?
Absolutely. That's a critical piece, the recourse. AI companies must set up a clear and easy-to-find point of contact. This is for creators or rights holders to get in touch if they suspect misuse or infringement. And crucially, they need a proper system for handling those complaints fairly and promptly. It's like setting up a formal grievance process. It's really about teaching this incredibly powerful system to be honest about its sources, give credit, and have a way to fix things when mistakes happen.
Okay, that leads us perfectly into the final deep dive area, safety and security. This sounds like the absolute bedrock, doesn't it?
Right.
Especially for these super powerful AI models coming out. What's the core idea here?
Think of it like building a nuclear power plant or maybe a super advanced autonomous system. You wouldn't just switch it on without exhaustive safety protocols and security measures. This chapter is all about ensuring these powerful AI models are built in an incredibly safe way and are robustly protected from interference or misuse. It's especially focused on what they call systemic risks, the really big problems that could ripple out if a powerful AI goes wrong, impacting public health, safety, maybe even democracy.
Right, those big potential harms. So how do they actually plan to make these complex systems safe and secure? Is there like a master plan?
Yes, exactly. A safety and security framework is that master plan. AI companies have to create it, implement it rigorously, keep it updated as new risks pop up, and tell the AI office about it. This framework guides their whole approach. It's not just a document you file away.
Okay, they have the framework. Then how do they figure out what could actually go wrong?
Yeah.
Identifying the dangers.
That's the first step, systemic risk identification. They have to systematically find all the plausible big dangers, thinking about risks to public health, safety, security, fundamental rights, society, the whole spectrum. This involves imagining different risk scenarios, basically telling stories about how something bad could actually happen. It's about proactive foresight.
So they imagine the bad scenarios, and after identifying them, how do they get a better handle on those dangers? Understand them.
That leads to systemic risk analysis. This means gathering data, testing the AI really hard, model evaluation, they call it, to see its capabilities, its limitations, any weird or unexpected behaviors, and then figuring out the likelihood and severity of a bad outcome. Is it a critical risk? Moderate.
Okay.
And crucially, this isn't just done once before release. Post-market monitoring means continuously watching the AI after it's out there, collecting user feedback, looking for strange activity. It's ongoing vigilance.
So after all that identifying and analyzing,
Yeah.
they have to decide if the risk is, well, acceptable.
Precisely. That stage is systemic risk acceptance determination. They need to set clear systemic risk acceptance criteria. What level of risk is acceptable? If the risks aren't okay or look like they might become unacceptable, the company absolutely must take action to fix it before going further with development or release. That could mean pausing the release, adding more safety features, fundamentally changing things.
Right. And what are the actual things they do then? The concrete actions to make the AI safe and secure.
It breaks down into two main areas. First, safety mitigations. These are the actions to prevent harm. Things like meticulously cleaning the training data to get rid of toxic or harmful content, or implementing filters on the AI's outputs, or even specifically training the AI to refuse dangerous or unethical requests. They might also do a slow, phased rollout, give limited access initially to test safety in the real world before a wide release. Second, security mitigations. This is about protecting the AI model itself, its brain, the parameters, and the computers it runs on. Protecting it from hacking, theft, tampering, both external and internal threats. They define a security goal. Who are we protecting against? Hackers, insiders. And then put in strong measures. Access controls, encryption, maybe background checks for key staff.
That is incredibly thorough. How does the AI office, the regulator, actually know all this is happening properly?
Again, it comes back to documentation and reporting. Companies have to write detailed safety and security model reports for the AI office. These reports lay everything out. The model, its intended use, the risks they found, the analysis, all the safety and security steps they took. And these reports aren't static. They have to be kept updated and sent regularly. It creates that essential paper trail for oversight.
And inside the company, who's actually in charge of making sure all this happens? Is it clearly defined?
Absolutely. Systemic risk responsibility allocation is mandatory. Companies have to clearly state who is responsible for overseeing risk, managing it, supporting the process, checking it, and ensuring those people have the resources and authority they need. It's about embedding responsibility.
Okay, but what if, despite all these plans and checks, something does go wrong, a real accident or incident?
Then serious incident reporting kicks in, and it's mandatory. Companies must track, document, and report any serious incidents to the AI office and other relevant authorities, and quickly, without undue delay. There are strict timelines, especially if it involves critical infrastructure, major cybersecurity breaches, or, God forbid, harm to people, and they have to explain what happened, why it happened, and what they're doing to fix it and stop it happening again. It closes the loop.
So thinking about this whole safety and security chapter, it really sounds like a comprehensive plan for building something potentially hazardous but incredibly useful, like identifying all the ways it could fail, testing everything, putting in strong supports, protecting it from threats, assigning clear roles, keeping detailed blueprints, and having a clear process for reporting and fixing breaks.
That's a perfect summary, precisely. This final chapter is all about ensuring these powerful AI models are built, used, and monitored with the absolute highest level of care and responsibility, and crucially, documenting it all every step of the way.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive into the general-purpose AI code of practice. We've really seen how this framework tries to make AI human-centric, trustworthy, safe, but also keep the door open for innovation.
Yeah, we started with that big picture, that vision for responsible AI. Then we dug into the three core pillars trying to make it real. First, the transparency chapter, demanding that detailed model documentation so you actually know what the AI is and how it works, more or less. Then the copyright chapter, making sure AI respects creative work from the data it learns on to the stuff it outputs and giving creators a voice if things go wrong. And finally, that really comprehensive safety and security chapter, laying out those rigorous processes for finding, analyzing, mitigating, and reporting the big systemic risks, protecting us and the AI itself from harm or misuse.
It's definitely clear this code is a sophisticated, forward-thinking framework. It's trying to tackle really complex challenges in governing powerful AI. And as these models get woven more and more into our daily lives, understanding frameworks like this, well, it isn't just for the regulators or the developers anymore, is it? For you, the listener, the user, the citizen. It's about understanding the invisible guardrails being put in place, hopefully, to make sure this technology serves us well.
Indeed. And it leaves us with a really important question to ponder, doesn't it? As AI keeps accelerating, how much responsibility really lies with the developers of these huge foundational models versus the companies and individuals who actually deploy them in specific ways? And how does a code like this empower you to ask better, sharper questions about the AI you encounter every single day? Something to mull over, perhaps, until our next deep dive.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll be back soon with more fascinating insights.